I want to take you back to Genesis chapter 3. So God says in Genesis 3:16, he says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Now, when you look at that, there is no woman on the earth. Every woman who bears children will go through pain. Every woman. So the woman's curse still remain, but the man's curse do not, because he told the man, and behold, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake, in sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shall you eat bread. Now he says the only way that man can make bread or make a living for themselves is that they earn by the sweat of their brow. Is that true for every man? I'm an Uber driver, bro. I do DoorDash, Instacart. How often do I sweat to make my money? I was thinking about that the other day, man. Like, I ain't broke a sweat in a minute. Like, how many dudes do you know living off other women that don't even work, making a living off other women? You know what I'm saying? How does that apply to them? But the woman, her sorrow continues to this day. You cannot bear children without going through pain. Yet, men, every man do not sweat to make their money. They do not earn money by the sweat of their brow. Like, that don't apply to every man, but the curse of the woman applies to every woman because they still have to endure this pain. So he tells the man, he says, cursed is the ground for thy sake. So he cursed the ground for man's sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Right now, he says that the ground was cursed. But also notice that he never said that they would go to hell. The punishment that God said would happen to Adam and Eve would be that they will return to the ground. It don't say nothing about no lake of fire burning forever. It don't say nothing about none of that. The original curse, the original penalty for the original sin was death. That's it. Was no lake of fire, no burning forever. Now, notice in Genesis 3, he says that the ground was cursed because of man, right? But if you flip over to Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 18 says, behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink. Now, God just told you that man's going to be cursed. The ground is going to be cursed. And man's going to be, he's going to earn by the sweat of his brow. That don't seem like something that you would enjoy, right? Now, Ecclesiastes is saying that the author is saying, which is Solomon, allegedly, Solomon is saying you're going to enjoy the days of your work and your labor. That it's going to be a gift from God. Now, I thought it was a curse. I thought it was a curse in chapter 3 in Genesis. But listen to Ecclesiastes 5 and 18. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good. It is not a curse. It is good and comely for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy. The curse? Are you supposed to be enjoying that God cursed you? No, it says, and to enjoy the good of all his labor that he takes under the sun, all the days of his life. Now, I thought man was cursed the rest of his life. In Genesis chapter 3, it says that you shall be cursed. The ground shall be cursed until you return to the ground. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 says, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of all his labor that he takes under the sun all the days of his life, which God gives him, for it is his portion. Every man also to whom God has given riches and wealth. Do that sound like a curse from God? If he told the first man he's going to be cursed, like, why is he blessing every man that will come after him? Every man also to whom God has given riches and wealth. How does that proceed from a curse? How does riches and wealth proceed from a man who was cursed? And has given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. Now, if you're cursed in your labor, how can you rejoice in your labor? To rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. So the first man was cursed of God for sinning against God. God cursed him and said that he would earn by the sweat of his brow, and there would be a curse, there would be a punishment. But we read in Ecclesiastes chapter 5 that same curse, that same labor, that same toil is going to be something that you can enjoy. It's going to be a blessing. It's going to be a gift from God. And he going to make you rich. He going to make you wealthy. And he going to give you riches. It's the gift and the curse, man. Wake up.
Contradiction. 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 It ain't no contradiction. You just need to speak.